Welcome back, everyone. We're back with some One Step from Eden. You're going to be seeing Risch again play Selicy any percent, and I believe you're going to be doing neutral. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yes, sure. So, hello everyone. I'm back again with One Step from Eden, and the category that I'm running is neutral, Selicy, seedless, normal. What that means is I'll be getting the neutral ending using the character Selicy. I'll be not using any seeds, so I'll be reliant on RNG throughout the run. And I will be doing normal mode, so no hell passes involved to up the difficulty at all. It's just a plain normal run, just through from the beginning, fighting the neutral boss.
Also, if you're not familiar with the game, this is a great newer game inspired by Battle Network, but also games like Slay the Spire. So what you'll notice is that it's got the same grid system as Battle Network, more or less, but it's, I would say, much higher paced. Would you agree?
Yes, this game is much faster paced. It is a roguelite game where you get to choose your path through different worlds and make a bunch of decisions that will impact the rest of your run, but your progress won't be saved once you have finished the run, whether that means you've died or you have successfully completed the run. So,
and who else do we have with us here?
I believe today I will be joined by the one and only Teraj42. Care to introduce yourself?
I am Teraj42. Also played a whole lot of One Step from Eden, although I'm a bit of a casual compared to Risch. Invade Selicy is a really fun run, though, if you're looking for more ways to replay this game.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so just a quick shout out. This run will also be run at SGDQ. I'll be running it there. So if you're interested in checking out GDQ and seeing this run there, it will be happening currently on Wednesday, August 19th, I believe. So this is sort of a nice little practice run to get warmed up for that.
Great. Other than that, you ready to go?
I sure am.
Do you want a countdown?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Fire. So, of all the characters that you can pick and play as, essentially whoever you pick, you have to fight everyone else. And so the order is random. We started with Gunner. Each boss has a theme. Gunner and Saffron's is fire. So this area is like fire themed, and at the end of it you'll fight one of those two bosses. We're starting with Gunner. And right now, Risch is basically just looking for the shop and trying to pick areas that don't take long. So hostages, distress beacons, are generally pretty good for going fast because it'll have one enemy. And you also have a chance to get artifacts. And after the first fight, he removed one of the spells from his deck. You start with 4, but there's only 2 that we really care about. Zenith, which is the AoE explosion that you see that happens on a delay, and Crossfire, which is the X-shaped explosion that happens on him. And what's interesting with Selicy here is her basic attack repositions her to the other side of the field. It's like a dash stab, but you can move around and then reposition yourself on top of enemies, and you're fighting the shopkeeper already. Okay, so the shopkeeper is probably the hardest fight in the game, and she's got a whole bunch of different crazy attacks that she can do. This is one of the hardest ones to dodge, and she's done it twice in a row, but Risch got what he needed from the shop, so he went ahead and chose to fight. You basically want to buy an upgrade and a remove, because now he only has 2 spells, the ones that he wants. He removed other ice spells that are largely irrelevant. It was a good fight. But he spares the shopkeeper, so whenever you beat a boss, you can choose to execute them or spare them, which will have different effects. With the shopkeeper, if you execute them, you get a bunch of rewards, but there's no more shops in the future areas, so you can't buy any additional upgrades or artifacts. So you can fight the shopkeeper, and there's no reason to do that except he was kind of showing it off as like a fun optional thing, which will be an incentive for the that poor gunner. Summer Games fight. And then executing. So in order to get the neutral ending, if you spare all of the bosses, you get one ending. If you execute all of them, you get a different ending. But the kind of like fastest way to do it is to do a bit of both, because when you execute them, you get some additional rewards, and there's a couple. There's like a nice card that we could get, another spell that we would replace Zenith with that would pair nicely with Crossfire. Whether or not we get it is RNG though, so it's not necessary for the run, but it could help us if we get it early on. And then otherwise we're going to spare bosses because that is just faster. The health is nice, and then they show up afterwards to help you in combat. He upgraded Crossfire, and it explodes twice now. There's a couple different upgrades that you're looking for. The main one is double cast. So initially it cost 2 mana, which is the bar at the bottom he has. One reason we keep Zenith is because it's 0 cost, which is really nice. But with double cast, Crossfire goes from 2 to 3, but it fires a second time on a slight delay, because it's got the multi-hit effect on top of an enemy. Getting to do that twice is just a tremendous amount of damage. And the AoE helps for all of the fights in between bosses. You can multi-hit multiple enemies. And it just does so much damage. Especially these early ones don't have enough health. Bosses scale depending on when you actually encounter them. The later ones will have a little more health, but if we keep getting good upgrades on Crossfire, took another removal. That's so we can remove Zenith if we get the spell that we want. And whenever you finish an area and transition, this shopkeeper is showing up to give you money. Whenever you finish an area and transition to the next one, you're presented with 3 choices. And you can't see who specifically it is, but it's one of the different themes, so like fire or ruins. And he picked ruins twice because the bosses in the ruins area, Terra and Riva, are kind of more problematic later on. So getting them out of the way early is nice. And so that's why he's starting with the ruins area.
Also, just want to throw out there, for SGEQ, for safety purposes, I am 100% saving Riva, like, without fail, just to be a tiny bit safe. So, saving her as soon as I can is also a really good idea.
Yeah. Of all the bosses to spare, Riva has one of the best effects because the first time you would have otherwise been defeated, health to 0, Riva will show up, take the hit for you, toss you some HP, and then go on her way. No good upgrades there. Second roll, -1 mana. 25% chance to hit twice, I guess make it do more. Mana's not too much of a problem because Selicy's other nice ability with this particular loadout is her mana regen is based off her movement, which is why Risch is dashing around so much. So -1 mana is not super important. We're basically just looking for more double cast or apply fragile. Riva is the shield character, but the shield is no match for Crossfire. Although she does have one attack where she'll put up a reflect, which is kind of her special thing. She didn't get to do it in that fight, but it can be a little scary if you queue up one of your attacks right as she's preparing a reflect. It's a good fight. So all these different... One Step from Eden has really fast combat, and so when you're first starting the game, like, it takes a lot of concentration and practice and trial and error to like keep up with everything.
Easy. Nah, I gotta wait. I don't know if I want to come back to this game, honestly. I tell myself I would. At least try to pop a JP this last time and be done with it for good. You know what? Maybe
I don't know. Like, coming back to a game is really weird. It feels really odd. Like, coming back to BN1, it's way more different than it was the first time running the game. It's not as fun. Like, it's still fun.
but it's not. It's not the same.
Exactly, right? It's not the thrill it used to be like, oh shit, I got new PV, or it's like something, it's like, okay, I did the same thing I've done so many more times. I mean, better.
I mean, it,
do you want to pause for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you're back. So, Risch picked the temporary Falzar section. We finished that zone really fast. Crossout was not intended to be in the Battle Network series. But now we're back, and we're going for Saffron. And this also put us on the Dark Path, which doesn't much matter, but the things were stronger, which is mostly good for us because that also means they give extra experience and money. You're moving so fast. Do you have haste?
I have pinwheel.
That's crazy. So Saffron's ability for herself, and you get that artifact if you play as her, is self-revive one time. So she came back, but then that was an unfortunate choice for her because Risch was ready with another Crossfire. So now we're doing Ice, and this is Violet. Violet is one of probably the most fun boss fights because it's more like a rhythm minigame. So you can dodge all the attacks more or less if you just like kind of move in time with the music and get used to the patterns. And then at the start of each area, he's kind of like scoping out to see which one's going to be the best path to take. And you did it. After you save a hostage, they will give you their reward, the health item, money, whatever. But if you kill the hostage, you get a little bit of money and a little bit of experience. If you time it right, you can do both. And so, Risch is just looking out for number one over here.
I need it all.
More base mana. Did you get Blue Blood?
No.
No. That's there's a whole bunch of different artifacts that you can get that do a bunch of different things. There's one that lets you start a fight with max mana, and that's really good for the speedrun because instead of like moving around at the start to generate mana, Risch can just immediately jump over and hit the enemies. One of the other artifacts that he has makes all the enemies start with Fragile. Fragile makes them take 50% more damage, but there's another artifact that makes them take 200% damage instead, and he does have that. So all enemies are taking double damage at the start. Fragile only counts for one application of Crossfire. It's so many times now. I feel so bad for Violet.
Why not?
Another mining rig is nice for long runs because you end up with so much money. He's still looking for. We have not seen. There's that enemy at the bottom is kind of annoying to play against the first because it attacks as you move. So since Risch was moving a whole bunch, it just kept attacking.
Oh, I almost pulled it off. Moved too far back.
Oh, the time slow, so you could queue up the second proc next to the hostages. And this hit my shot. The best part of like sparing the shopkeeper is she'll just periodically show up and give you money. My favorite line is, "Here, spend this at the shop later."
I thought about that
Blood
blood
money.
money.
Dual
I thought
disc.
about it. Okay, dual disc is bad in this run.
But you can just write. It's dual disc is one of my favorite artifacts because you got Mjolnir and it almost took out the hostage. Dual disc makes it to so there's a shuffle time at the end, but dual disc removes that. The downside is every time you shuffle, you get a jam put in your spell deck, which does nothing and takes 2 mana. So it's probably not worth it. but it can be pretty broken with the right combination. It's also got a very amusing flavor text. A lot of the spells and artifacts have pretty good flavor text. So this is Shiso, one of my favorite characters. He's got like his thing is fewer attacks but higher damage, so it's like slow but high value bullets or gunshots or whatever. And if he hits you with certain attacks, it actually shuffles, which can be annoying. Oh, miscount there. He can be kind of slow though. Oh, and that one attack at the end. Oh, and can you dash out of that?
No, you just dash in
Probably
place.
Poor
You could just
Shiso.
keep doing 40 damage to him. Wow.
Yeah, if you get trapped, he moves in front of you and shoots you point blank, and can't dash out of that, unfortunately. Another upgrade. You're gonna upgrade Zenith if we don't find.
Yeah, it's what my goal is right now. Is don't think I'm gonna bother like killing on the last one for a Hail Mary. So
Yeah.
unless no, I'm not gonna be at full health because yeah, it's just that guy heals. Oops.
After the final boss fight, then depending on like whether you've spared everyone or killed everyone, you go towards a final boss or a final area. And in this case, once we get past Hazel, we will fight the wall. And so if Risch spares them, he won't be able to use, or actually, can you use you can't use the menu, can you?
No, you can't.
So he's gonna have to make a decision beforehand if he wants to like use these upgrades or remove any spells or make modifications before starting the final fight. The enemies finally have enough health that battle doesn't just instantly end after one crossfire. Here's the shopkeeper again. You can see now she's got 8,400 health. Shopkeeper is very healthy, scales very well. Ooh, more upgrades. Let's see if we get anything good. 20% splash damage can be good, especially when you see the wall and how it works. And we're going to upgrade Zenith, which applies fragile on hits, which can be good for Zenith itself. Consume, heal, and gain 5 max HP. No, it didn't take it. Consume means that he only gets to cast it once, but that's my favorite modifier. Consume, heal, and gain 5 max HP. Because in the long run, you end up with so much health. Because he still has the 1,000 max HP that he started with, but there's a bunch of other ways you can increase your health over the course of a run. So here's Hazel. This is our last boss fight.
Yep.
And her main gimmick is structure, so she'll have like fire turrets or summon bullets, or one thing where she'll probably not, you're not going to see it, will put a bunch of blocks down and then like have this crusher slowly roll in to hit you. So we're going in full health to the wall, and the wall is like super tough and super annoying the first time you get to it.
I miracled it.
Oh my gosh. Miracle is an artifact that you get that occasionally will do a whole bunch of damage, but the wall can spawn a whole bunch of different things that attack you. Problem is the wall has multiple hitboxes, and so Crossfire does multiple hits, and Selicy can just jump on top of the wall, and time will be when Risch dies, because even when you win, you lose.
Yes, right now.
And that is a one step from eating speedrun.
Very, very fast. 16:34 is the time that my auto.
That was
splitter
without getting the second spell to replace Zenith with.
Yes. Oh, yes. So that run is incredibly fast-paced. Tara didn't even have a moment to like breathe almost during the commentary. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to replay through this game after you've started to rack up some wins and you're feeling more confident playing the game. And I think Selicy is the best character to learn because her initial kit is so strong that honestly the route is pretty easy in terms of the
Often that's
RNG
even
necessary.
But yeah, also the game is not easy. Risch just makes it look easy.
Yes, very much
especially
so.
with Selicy.
Yeah, Selicy, I have so much practice with at this point that like the game feels easy to me. But remembering when I originally played this game, how hard it was to get a win, like don't expect this game to be easy.
Yeah, definitely. And the progression system is nice. You only start out with Saffron. You unlock the other characters like as you beat them, or certain other requirements, even just leveling. And to get the alternate kit, for example, Invade Selicy used in this run, you have to play Snow and then get a win, which is like make it to the boss and beat the fight.
Yeah, so there's two ways you get that. It's like I think you have to do a neutral win in order to get the alternate kit. The skins, by the way, there are skins in this game. I'm not a fan of Selicy's personally. I do like Saffron's quite a bit. There's the Witch one, there's Chrono. Riva has a really good one. But yeah, you unlock these also by getting wins in other ways, such as by doing the Pacifist run, where you save everyone, or forget what the Genocide run unlocks, if it's the skin or the alternate kit. But
there's such a wide variety of ways to play One Step From Eating is pretty great. And if you get to the point that you do want to start doing runs, there's a leaderboards for it on speedrun.com. There's some resources on there. A lot of it is just watching other runs. And I think, because I actually don't know this, is there a Discord or anything, people that hang out for speedrunning this, or is it just...
The One Step From Eden Discord for the game overall does have a channel dedicated to speedruns. People like to post screenshots of their times because you might have noticed there's an in-game timer that is very accurate and like was pretty much on par with the RTA timing. So we very often we use the IGT, and people just take screenshots of that. So you don't even have to do anything fancy. Just do runs and win the run and see what your time is at the end.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. Give it a try. We hope to see your times on the leaderboards. Otherwise, enjoy the game and play more Battle Network.
Correct.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Risch, for the run. For anyone out there wanting to try One Step From Eden, it's available on PC and the Switch and the PS4, so it's probably whatever you have. The game's available to play, so give it a try. Up next, we'll have, you might have caught a little bit of it, we've got Jameek playing BN6, Falzar, all crosses. So we're going to get to see some stuff that we don't usually see in an any percent, but it's going to be very cool. So stick around for that. We're going to have a little break and see you soon.